Hi learners, welcome to the channel. Today let's discuss on nuclear forces and some of the important characteristics of these forces. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and stay connected with me. Come, let's dive into the topic. Nuclear force. What is nuclear force? Nuclear forces, you see, are the strong forces of attraction which hold together the nucleons. What are the nucleons? Neutrons and protons. What is inside the nucleus? Neutrons and protons. These together we call it as nucleons. So this nuclear force holds together the nucleons in the tiny nucleus of an atom. In spite of strong electrostatic forces of repulsion between protons. You see, protons are positively charged, isn't it? So there are many protons inside the nucleus and many neutrons inside the nucleus. When one proton comes closer to the other proton, there will be repulsive force. So this proton will push the other protons. Okay, so in spite of strong electrostatic forces of repulsion between these two protons, some forces of attraction are making these nucleons come together and they are inside the tiny nucleus of an atom. The nuclear force arises due to exchange of subnuclear particles, hence very complex in nature. Okay, so let's discuss with a plot. From the plot, it is concluded that potential energy is minimum at a distance r0, that is approximately 0.8 Fermi meter, which means the force is attractive for distances larger than 0.8 Fermi meter and repulsive for the distances less than 0.8 Fermi meter between nucleons. Okay, look at the plot. Potential energy versus distances, isn't it? For a distance greater than r0, the force is attractive, and for distances less than r0, the force is strongly repulsive. Let's move on to some of the important characteristics of these forces. So the first one, nuclear forces act between a pair of neutrons, a pair of protons, and also between a neutron-proton pair with the same strength. Okay, this shows that nuclear force are independent of charges. As we know, proton is positively charged, neutrons, they have no charge, electrons are negatively charged, isn't it? So yes, so the forces acting between neutron and neutron, proton and proton, or neutron and proton pair, the strength is the same. Yes, the second characteristics of this nuclear forces, the nuclear forces are very short range force. Okay, they are operative up to distances of the order of few Fermi. What is the value of Fermi? It is 10 power minus 15. Okay, so Fermi meter means 10 power minus 15 meter. Okay, listen, the third important characteristic of these forces are the variation of nuclear forces with the distances between nucleons is not exactly known. Okay, so we observe that the nuclear forces are negligible when distances between nucleons is more than 10 Fermi meter. When nucleons are brought closer, nuclear forces of attraction develops, which goes on increasingly rapidly with decreasing distances. Yes, however, the nuclear forces do not obey inverse square law. So that is, when nucleons are brought closer, the attractive forces increases rapidly. When they are moved apart, the nuclear forces decreases. The fourth important characteristics of These forces are, you see, the nuclear forces show saturation property. That is, each nucleon interacts with its immediate neighbors only. Okay, so rather than with all the other nucleons in the nucleus. So one proton can interact with a neighboring proton or neutron. It cannot interact with a far away proton or neutron. The fifth important characteristics of these forces are nuclear forces are dependent on spin or angular momentum of nuclei. Okay, so this proton and neutron will not be stable, they will be spinning. Okay, so depending on their angular momentum, nuclear forces varies. Using nuclear forces are non-central forces. Okay, sixth important characteristics of these forces are nuclear forces or non-central forces. This shows that the distribution of nucleons in a nucleus is not spherically symmetric. Okay, that's all for today's session. Hope this is useful for you. Give a like, subscribe to the channel, stay connected with me. Okay, bye bye. I'm Judy.